Wow. Somehow we haven't been canceled yet. Here we are back for a third season of All the Vibes podcast. Wow, this is great. Let me introduce myself first, and everybody introduce themselves. My name is Michael B. Everybody calls me Mike. Differently though, you can call me Michael B. Senior, Michael B. The father, the leader, whatever you want to. The B stands for baby boy now. So that's what I got as a leader.
Okay.
So just talk to me different. Respect me when you talk to me.
All right.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Is me?
Yes.
Oh. What up, guys? It's your girl YB, also known as Joe Fly as Auntie. I'm just free. So.
Wow.
I'm DJ P Swag. Monday through Friday, I'm Pierce.
When?
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Oh yeah, probably from the business hours of 8 a.m. to promptly 4:47 p.m. But then on the weekends, I'm DJ P Swag.
Ooh.
That's it.
Turn me up as you should.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Auntie Tajay. That's it.
And y'all know who the fuck I am. If you don't know, it is your girl being Mary May. Hello.
It's your man, cameraman Chris. I guess we keeping it short today.
Yeah, it's boring.
Short and simple.
Let's just keep going, y'all. Thanks for the great introductions, everyone. Really appreciate it as we come into Volume 3. Even though the season's different, you can still follow us at the same spots. All the Vibes, 2 underscores on, Twitter, 2 underscores, All the Vibes on Instagram. You can also visit the website now. I don't know the link off the top of my head, but it's on the social media pages because
It'll be right here.
it'll be right under this. And what you'll do is type that in, and you will pop up on the page.
Yeah.
Follow our weekly playlist. We got 2. Damn, I guess we do have some new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn me up. So new playlist, new website. Continue to follow us, keep getting updates. Follow all our personal pages. Everybody's been doing something. It's going up right now. With that being said, at the same token, we are starting on a very, I wouldn't say not the person day, but we just lost 2 days ago
Yes.
our Black Panther, our superhero, our Mr. Chadwick
So
Boseman.
short too.
Huh?
It was
No, go ahead, bro.
Man, we just lost Chadwick Boseman just passed away on Friday due to colon cancer, I believe it was. After a 4-year battle. In the midst of that 4-year battle, still doing movies and things. So we have no choice but to start off with somebody so impactful on the black community. So I'm not trying to really just bask on the fact that he's passed instead of bask on the fact of everything he did instead. So just open discussion wise, just kind of talk about how we felt, how we feel about Chadwick Boseman in general and everything he's done. So I'll kind of just open the floor to how y'all feel and kind of go from there.
So, obviously, to me, I feel like he's most known for Black Panther. T'Challa, what Black Panther did, stepping away as a movie perspective, more about what it did for the culture and the time that we was at. I feel like that was really important. And also when you look at the roles that he took on, he embodied a lot of leaders in our community, historic leaders. Jackie Robinson, James Brown,
Thurgood
Marshall. So when you sit back and look at the roles, it's man, he was really I don't know, acting in our best interest.
Literally.
Pun intended, I guess.
It's funny because I just seen this video on Twitter where he was talking about how he chose his roles, and his agent would say, you should choose these roles because such and such is acting in it and such and such is directing it. He was like, well, I don't want to meet them in that way. The role is something I'm just succumb to instead of choosing something I wanted to. His whole thing was for those roles that I turned down, that's how I got the roles that I was in because I let those roles go. He was that's open the door for that. So, I mean, I didn't really think about it except when he was here, it was kind of he's always choosing roles for somebody. He's always playing somebody. And then you think about it, you're oh, well, this makes a lot of sense. Why we choose these more impactful roles instead of just choosing something to please I worked with such and such. So that really stuck with me out of everything that's going on for the past 48 hours for real. I ain't gonna say nothing. Anybody else say something else?
Yeah, I think I remember he made a commentary that he wanted to be specific with the roles he chose because he knew the impact it would place on specifically not just the culture but like black people. A lot of times people would try to do a lot of imitation roles of our leaders, and many are successful, and then there are others who are not very successful. And I think he was somebody, though, I think somebody else mentioned too, just Matthew Cherry, which is also a director and animator. He mentioned the fact that though you may not have been a fan of that particular movie that he might have been in, it was never a question about his performance within a movie. Like, the story itself might not appeal to you, but his performance on screen was enough to connect you with him as an actor and as an audience member. So
That's a very good point. Bridget, you have something?
I was gonna say, like, even off camera, it's really dope to see, like, really dope and inspirational to see, like, how intentional he was and how just, like, he focused so much on, like, purpose and then, like, instilling that in other people. And just, like, even, like, personal interactions you can see he had with, like, individuals. Like, he always tried to be, like, impactful with them. I was also going to say, I really appreciate, like, Black Panther, like, the movement as a whole, especially for us, because it just highlighted, like, we have value, like, Black dollars do matter. Like, there is an entire market that people are missing out on. And I think that, like, lit a fire, like, amongst, like, everybody, like, all different type of avenues. So it's definitely, like, super duper important to see that on screen. And I just, wow. Wow. And it's crazy, also, it's like none of us knew him personally at all, but the impact, like, I literally cried. I literally cried. I do not know him whatsoever, but that's, like, how big of an impact he had, and it's just so crazy that somebody's life and his work, more importantly. Mm-hmm. And even as an artist, like, I have so much more respect. Like, your art is supposed to touch people. It's supposed to have purpose. So, like, that's definitely, like, how he left a legacy. That's definitely something I aspire to as a Black creator.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. You have something, Pete?
I was just gonna say, like, I think it's really dope how, you know, you have, like, Black Panther and, you know, you don't really see that many, I guess, Black superheroes, and to be, like, on that Marvel front and him take that role, accept that role, and be able to represent just the Black community and just that whole front, it was just dope. It's just really dope, and I just feel like he should be held at the highest for that, and it should not be taken for granted at all.
It's definitely dope, because I think, like, as far as Black heroes go, I mean, besides, like, Storm and, like, an X-Men, Wesley Snipes, like Blade, like, that's like early 2000s stuff, bro. Not like this though. Like, even a story like Black Panther, like, the whole pretense is like this separated civilization that have everything that's advanced besides what everybody else had. So I was like, we wasn't given we weren't what the typical thing is. We given a struggle, or we're given like this is our situation. How do we overcome it or something? It was like we was already here. Like, we was top notch. Like, you come to us, we got problems, and it extended. It's like Marvel in general. So it just felt like we wasn't getting the bottom of the barrel again in a movie that was about some struggle that we had. So looking at him indifferent, it's like, this is that nigga. Like, even like for me, like, for the actual movie, even like you said, I wasn't the biggest fan of the actual movie, but the impact was still felt the exact same. Like, it's just easy to separate the two. And I think there was like a video on, I've watched a lot of videos just because all on Twitter, it's all I've seen on Twitter pretty much until now, about like there was like those kids, it's that meme or the video of those kids that are dancing in school, and I never knew what the back like the pretense was, but it was like they were all going to see Black Panther for free. And like, I remember he was on, it's not Jimmy Kimmel, was that Jimmy Kimmel show? Where like the people were talking to his poster.
Jimmy Fallon.
Was that Fallon? On Fallon show, where they was like explaining like the impact it had and like meaning. It's just like,
that's
you
what
can
I was
see, like,
talking
the
about,
feeling,
like,
it's
his
like
personal
nuts.
interaction with people.
Yeah.
I think it's nuts. So I don't know, man. It's just like looking back on everything that we had. Like, I don't remember if I was talking to you guys or somebody else like a year ago when I seen videos. He just looked smaller, and we just assumed it's like a movie role. Cause I mean, that's just what I would assume. I don't know shit about movies, but I assumed it was just a movie role. Like, he was preparing. The whole time it's like he's really. It's like I'm guessing at that time he's just, at this point, he can't do anything now. At this point, he's at the end. But we still got the Five Bloods out of that, which, I don't know, man, a lot of this shit is making a lot more sense. Like, seeing scenes from the Five Bloods, it's like, whoa, this is making so much sense. And I know he has another one.
21 Bridges was
21 Bridges. I know he has like a Denzel project he was a part of that's about to come out too. It all just came full circle. Like, hearing Denzel talk about it, Angela Bassett talking about it. Like, when she first met him, like, he was like the one that escorted her when she was like a speaker, was at Howard maybe or something.
She was an honorary
person. She met Chadwick, and Denzel paid for his school.
Yeah, I love
That's just
seeing
nuts.
and hearing either him and Denzel's interactions or just hearing them talk about each other. I know when Denzel got honored at something, and Chadwick spoke, that was like
it was
one of my
nuts.
favorite speeches.
Yeah.
It was just so genuine.
Yeah, it was like basically he stands on like Denzel's shoulders, and to think about it, there's gonna be so many people who are gonna stand on Chadwick's shoulders.
So many, especially with leading roles like that. Like, I feel like now older we get like looking back on movies, like when it comes to like you said, movies of depictions of people. Like I always think about Denzel and Malcolm X first, and then it goes after that. So like to see him come from that, and then you have like a Will Smith Muhammad Ali movie that comes out, and that's one of my favorites too. And then you have Jamie Foxx and Ray comes out, and it's like you got one of those two, bro. And then you have this man come out and play Jackie Robinson. He plays
James
Brown, plays Durgan Marshall. He played 3 of them.
Sheesh.
Back to back to back, like it was quick, and then do a Black Panther movie, and then give us a The Five Bloods movie, which is actually I think underrated now that I think about it for the purpose that it served for the full movie. It was just like it's shitty, but at the same time, I mean it's a shock to us, but clearly it isn't a shock to the circle that he comes from. And I think like another big thing for me was just like the fact that circle kept it, like it never left that, like we never knew, like. I think if we knew it'd be different. I know we were just talking about this, like maybe it may have impacted the roles he could have got, like things of that nature. But that's a tight circle. I mean, even family be the first to talk on you, like, well, this is what's going on, and get like a pace. Nobody said nothing. Like, not saying he told a lot of people, but that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big piece of that too, just kind of like seeing how on social media now, you know, as soon as somebody get the scoop, like you got like TMZ or something, they're exposing it, and you know, I think like. You know, during this whole time of this 4-year journey he was going through that, you know, I saw a lot of stuff, people making jokes. You know, they could see the change. They obviously could see the change, but that really just kind of further goes to show, like, you really shouldn't try to bully or be judgmental because you really don't know what people's struggles are. And this man is out here, you know, representing us and doing things that he really, you know, he doesn't have to do. He didn't have to do it into, you know, I'm pretty sure those people feel shitty about that, you know what I'm saying? This man's sick in, you know, these circumstances now. So it just really goes to show you like you shouldn't be that way, especially when you have figures that are representing us and at least trying to put forth that change. So
I think what I also really appreciated was a lot of people coming out and talking about like his humbleness and how he was just a very kind and gentle spirit. Ryan Coogler even mentioned the fact that he was doing like a Creed press conference or something like that, and it was going to be their first interaction now that he knew that he solidified doing Black Panther and he was the person who's going to be playing T'Challa. He was just like, he just came into the press conference, he was just constantly just had a humble demeanor, like wanting to learn, wanted to, you know, be a resource and stuff like that. And so like every account I've gotten from people was just that he was a very kind person no matter who you were, whether you were a stylist, makeup artist, whether you were just a regular person, or whether you were a castmate, or etc. It was just a lot of humbling interactions that people had with him. And like a lot of times I feel like too, a lot of people allow fame to go to their heads a little bit, and like every now and then you'll see some moment from like your favorite artists or actors and actresses where they'll have not so humble interactions with everyday people or don't seem genuine to, you know, their fans. And whenever we saw Chadwick, we never really necessarily got that, even in moments where he probably really was just annoyed with the success of the film. He was never just rude. You never saw that. Like you might be able to see a slight annoyance on his face, but he never like really communicated that with folks. So I think I just saw that a girl had graduated from Howard and she like called out and wanted to take a picture with him, and he just like nah. And then she was like, oh, okay, she was gonna walk back, but then he like ran back. He's like, take it real quick, and then he like threw it up for her. So that just shows like he was always courteous and genuine. And a lot of times you'll have those stories of the people we sometimes idolize are still human. They'll have the moments where they're like, snap, we didn't get that, and we know he was definitely within his realm.
And he had every right to do it if he wanted to. He was going through a lot, like that's.
Yeah.
Oh man, at the end of the day, we just salute, respect. It's Chadwick Boseman, and 2020 just been a year, bro.
Definitely has.
To be truthful, I feel like with that I'm glad you made that TMC comment, because it's kind of like what they did with Kobe. How Kobe, they put that out before his family was really even aware. So it's like, man, that's tough to have a circle like that.
Or
Which
even
like,
when
for
Nipsey
years.
passed and they leaked that video footage
Yeah.
of Lauren was in the
Running
hospital.
into the
Yeah.
hospital.
Disgusting. Really
Fuck
disgusting.
TMZ.
So
I know it's kind
I
of
feel like we
side
should make
though,
them
but
shirts. Fuck
I'm
TMZ.
actually really glad that his family was the one that were able to release the information to the world. Like,
with a
that
nice
was
pose
probably
too, with a very respectful like
yeah,
this
that was
HC.
probably well within his wishes.
They
Like,
cold though. They look so low key.
God, we lost Kobe and we lost a lot of people this year. Let's get off this. Let's get before it goes into that. So we've been gone for a little bit, but in the midst of that time, besides the passing, we also had Megan Thee Stallion situation, Tory Lane situation, which, I mean, story-wise, at the end of the day, we found out that Megan was shot by Tory Lanez in, was it both feet? Or in both feet. But even with that story, we'll talk about that a little bit, but just more in depth, I feel like the reaction and kind of the outside view is, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's just not what it should have been for Megan's side. Overall, I'm not saying like us, I think we have an understanding of like the importance, but as a whole, it was more like a joke. As far as on like Twitter and things like that, social media, when this is your life for real. Just the impact of like the black woman and the struggle compared to Tory. I mean, we still like come after them. So a lot of people are like, well, what's his side of the story? Well, what do you need his side of the story for, like, to justify it? So I feel like we can first talk about how y'all felt about the Megan Thee Tory situation, maybe how it was handled, but also just like the impact of like black women and black men, or men and women in general, however you want to talk about it. Whatever is up to you, we don't really care in that form. Just like how it's just viewed differently, and how we don't give enough support, we don't give enough credit, we don't give enough just appreciation to the black woman wise, who always in some form, shape or form is in front and protecting as far as black men, from what I'm seeing, from like protesting and things like that. So I guess I'll talk on Megan first, but
I mean,
how y'all feel, bro?
I feel like whatever the situation was, like whatever went down. I mean, I watched the video where she was kind of like explaining, and like at the end, or towards the end, she was kind of like, I really wasn't gonna address it. I wasn't gonna say nothing. You know, when the police came to me, XYZ, you know, I was gonna let it ride. And I guess somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was rumors or if maybe he was talking shit, his team was talking stuff, or what the case was.
His team was denying it, I'm pretty sure.
his team was, she said his team was denying it and planting stories that it was
his team wasn't, but it wasn't like that.
Right. And so, I mean, I feel like, you know, that should have, whatever the situation was, I feel like a part of it could have been handled internally first. Eventually it was going to come out, but it could have come out in its full capacity. And like now, the fact that he ain't said nothing, he didn't ghosted everything. I think you said earlier he back in Canada possibly, or something like that. He haven't said anything, and it's just like with everything going on right now, you know, we already facing a lot of stuff. And like as a black woman, there are way more factors that women are facing that are worse when it comes to aggression, when it just comes to just the black man not standing up for the black woman as it stands. And I just feel like here now we have a situation where, you know, if they got into it or if it was an altercation, this man and
nothing permitted gun violence.
Yeah, you know, like
nothing.
You know, we have enough issues with police brutality right now. You know, we losing black people as it is. There's enough issues, you know, with men, domestic violence related stuff. Like, what escalates like that and justifies you shooting her like that? It's just like, why?
Security.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a complete and utter lack of respect for black women for like these past few years. I mean, it's always been there, but it's just like it's definitely in our face. And like if we really think about it, like to be subjugated to being shot by someone who you thought was your friend, who was kind of like there for you after your mother passed away, your father passed away, your grandmother passed away. Like she lost everybody within like I think a year. And then you want to surround yourself with people who kind of like keep you happy and keep you in a peaceful state of mind, and then you're subjected to a level of violence where none of your actions permits you to, you know, experience that. I feel like it's very out there. And then even with like Toyin, like you remember Toyin was the civil rights, not the civil rights, the Black Lives Matter activist who was probably I think roughly 19 or 20 years old, and she was like right there on the front lines, and then like she seeked, you know, solace and whatever from someone only for it to be subjected to sexual abuse and murder. So like black women are constantly on the front lines of kind of protecting people or beating advocates and trying to be a friend or whatever to other people, and nobody's giving that same grace. Because she even said that she didn't want to say nothing to the police because she was trying to protect him in the situation. So even in the state of, this person has inflicted trauma on me, I don't want to subject him to this. Like, I feel like that's a constant thing we're seeing with women, especially with black women right now, especially visually. Like, we know it happens in our experiences surrounded by people and historically, but it's just a lot more through the social media. And just the response from other black men was very irritating. Like, 50 Cent, Cameron, all of them, like, their responses were just disrespectful, and the fact that anybody thought, like, it was comedic at all was disrespectful as well. So
there's a lot of people. Jaya talked about that got dropped from Fenty. She got dropped with her goofy ass.
Yeah.
This dick.
And then how do you say a comment like that and then you work for a brand from a woman who was in a domestic situation? Does that make any sense to you? Makes none. So, and then that's even like a statement itself. Like, sometimes other black women don't have support from other black women in situations like that. So it's just a lot to take in. Very draining as a black woman when you watch it. So.
It is. It was a lot of mixed opinions. Like, how she was saying she was protecting him, and then Charlamagne was like, you don't need to protect any man. Like, don't do that. Like, don't protect him. And then James Blake's sister, when she was talking at the event that was just recently,
Jacob Blake.
She was talking about how black women need to, like, we need to carry the weight of the black man type.
We've been doing it for
a very long time.
Long, bro.
We carry the weight of everybody. We gotta carry black men's weight, white women's weight. It's a lot. Who gonna carry our weight? That's what I wanna know. I'm tired.
There's a, correct me if I'm using, if the correct word, masculinicizing, is that the word?
I have no idea.
But you get what I'm saying, like the ing of
women are so strong.
No, here's what to me where a big of the issue is. Everyone has a spectrum of femininity and masculinity. Women can be masculine if they want. The problem is people pushing it on to black women. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't push masculinity onto you and force you to quote unquote save the world, because I've seen a lot of that lately, and I ain't seen none of y'all sign up for it. So
I'm not on it. Or did you see that video?
Sign up.
No, like really, like people are like. It's great that whoever decides to take that mantle and advocate for other people, but like black women as a whole did not sign up to, save everybody or be the savior of the country.
Be the superheroes or everything.
Yeah, it's like it's
and you'll still be there.
Yeah.
So it's like we didn't sign up for it, but when I see, like, when I've been to protests, especially here in Kansas City, majority I see leading things, like the homie that's leading, I can't remember what group, but for the majority of times when protests are planned, it's always one girl that I know that's always like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. When I come to the protest, it's always like a black woman in the forefront, like, this is what's going on, like running and things. Not saying that, this is what I see, not saying it's always like that. Not saying they're the actual ones that's leading, but this is what I see. So it's just like, it makes a lot of sense as far as why black women in general be like, bro, like, this shit is draining. Like, you're already black in general, and now you like expected to be strong in the midst of all your bullshit you go through. It's just like, oh, you're doing great. Let me high five you because you're staying strong in the midst, but no, like, how can we relieve of this? How can we help with this? Just thank you for being strong in the midst of your own bullshit.
Then it also just like, that's the physical, like, I'm physically doing that work. You also have to take into account when people be trying to use black women's, like, their mentals to, be like, can you tell me why this? Or can you inform me of this? Like, that's just draining too. Like, I don't have to necessarily be on the front lines every day fighting in 100-degree weather to be drained. Like, it could literally just be me minding my business and maybe have this one fraction of peace in my day, and then somebody's hitting my DMs like, I saw this was happening. Can I get your insights on this? Or what do you think about this? And it, like, low-key reminds me of the No Name and J. Cole situation. Now, I'm not their situation but like, people were basically like, why don't you educate and inform us? It's just kind of like one of those things where, like, I can't constantly just be an advocate, constantly be your fighter, and then also try to be your teacher. Like, every now and then I want to be able to take a step back and separate myself from stuff, because, like, I'm grieving and working through my own trauma and it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. So you want me to also put my stuff away. Yes, you want me to put my mental or spiritual struggles away to inform you of why you should treat me this way or why black women should be treated this way. That's a fucking lot, and I'm not about to do it all the time.
So the question that I would ask the black women on this seat right here, absolutely, you're entitled to everything, and if you feel drained, you feel drained. What I would say to that is knowledge is best spread. That's the second part. But so, I'm gonna ask the question all three separate. Do you feel protected by black men?
No.
No.
I don't know. I'm biased because I have felt protected by black men. Like, the situations I've been through, it has been men who have been there. Like.
And what I will say, obviously, everyone's experiences are different. To where it's like I literally had to sit back and think. I'm obviously not a black woman, but I have black men in my life, and when I think about some of the older people in my life, like, damn, you really did not do right by my auntie, or you really didn't do right by so and so in my family. So obviously everyone's reaction is different, but what I would say is, as a black man, am I able to come to you guys and ask you, what can we do? Because I know who I am individually, and that's also an issue, because I feel like a lot of men are, they get offended because they feel like they're being attacked. But if you are doing it, then you should feel attacked. And if you are taking care of black women, then it doesn't involve you. You should try to do the best you can to remedy the problem, because if it's how y'all feel, it's how y'all feel regardless. Right. Feelings are never wrong. And there's facts behind it. So it's just like, I just want to see and know if there's anything that we can do as the individual.
It's always things you can do as individual wise, but individual is so small in the spectrum compared to as a whole. Cause I don't know, man. I don't know exactly how you solve this thing. I feel like it's easier said than done. It's an easy maybe statement of this what you should do as black men is what we should do. But as a whole, I feel like my thing is, to explain that before I even get into that, is when you see things on Twitter videos getting into things with women, it's never I need to step in. It's always just somebody recording it, somebody should do something, if that makes sense. So it's just I don't know if it's just we holding each other accountable, which I think is really big in general, or if it's just niggas just don't give a fuck, which I think could be a mix of both. And it's just, I don't know, I don't see a good solution that just fixes the whole as a problem, the whole problem. I don't know if that sounds bad or not.
I think,
but it's hard to pinpoint this is what you should do, and it's how we should change it. You know what I mean? And it's not I feel like it was a lot of things with that, with all the shit with Black Lives Matter things going on. We could pinpoint these things and be this is what should happen to change. But is it as easy as just saying that, or what follows? How certain things have to follow order, I think is the best way to put it. I'm not sure. Either way, it's fucked up to be put very straight and forward.
I think a lot of it, or a start. Because you have a lot of celebrities, you have a lot of influencers, if you will, and I feel like if as regular people, if you sitting here on Twitter and social media and you watching some of these influencers not give a fuck. Not saying me personally, but from someone looking at this, why should they give a fuck?
Does that fall in the music too? It does. It does have a big. It does. Have a big on a general spectrum, Well, I love rap music, but if it was going off of me being the influence coming from rap music, then I probably wouldn't give too many cares about what's going on outside of. I've been here, did this. I don't need her no more. Yada yada. Cool. That's subliminally what I hear, and I think off the top that's what I fuck with. But that's really how you move, then you may not even recognize that's how you move. I'm not saying it's a big part, but I do think it impacts certain situations, being in certain environments, being around certain people. I can tell they really take this shit to head, living that lifestyle where you don't even fit inside that lifestyle, but still having that mentality. It can fall down. I think it can trickle down. I'm not saying that's end all be all, but I'm not saying it's not. We just gonna let it go. It's not has no effect in general.
Right.
That's truly what you believe in. I don't know. It's one of those weird things, but. My question was, are niggas even caring to see what Tory Lanez has to say about this at all?
I do want to hear what he has to say, but I mean, I don't think that was
Not
going to
really.
validate anything.
When
It's not going to validate anything. I just want to hear from his side. What do you have to say? Especially if your team is going out saying another story
I
to
know.
other
for me-
people.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
so for me, when it first happened, already it was like, you know, one, you cannot shoot
Anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
And then she has a career on the line.
It's just it's so many things. It's so many things. You can't shoot anybody. You shot a black woman. You shot Meg. It was.
And you
it
didn't
was-
have a reason.
It was quite like, I know you talked about Charlemagne. He talked about it too. It was just on a different side. It was quite mind-boggling. It's like, why would you do such a thing? Like, you're done.
Yeah.
Your entire shit is done, and it's like, it became very apparent in like the first 2 weeks when there was no official statement from him or his team or anything or about anything, that every single person involved knew that Tory was 100% wrong, 100% should get punished, and it's just like,
And still say nothing about him doing it.
it's like even recently, like Meg came out and she told as much of the story as she was going to, and it was even worse. It was like, you shot her while she was walking away too. It was just like,
And then
there's
your
really
team
nothing
trying to cover it.
really
Your
nothing
team-
to say besides, I mean, you gonna say how you weak and you was weak and you a weak man and this and that. I mean, we already know that. I really have no idea like what is there to say in my mind to him coming from him.
There's
Just
gotta be
because I
some
feel like
remorse or something. There gotta be something of remorse to come out at some point.
I don't know. I have two things to say. I feel like there was another interview. I don't know if y'all saw about them two girls who was, I think it's Adam the Jumper, the dude who does
Oh, no
interviews.
jumper.
Yeah, who was doing the tour with them girls. The girl was talking about giving the team head, and then the other girl who was on the side of her, she was saying that she used to mess with Tori at one point, and Tori was like physically like abusive towards her, type shit. And she said like it became a case where she would call like the department, like the police department, and she said when the Megan shit happened, she had called the detective who was on the case for her, and she was like, I told y'all should have arrested him like at a time then. But granted, I don't know if that's valid or not, but with that, I also wanted to go into like, how do y'all feel about other artists? Like, people are saying like there should be artists who are saying something about it for a period of time, should have their opinion on it, whether they're gonna fuck with Tory or not.
Yeah, everybody's
I think-
very freaking silent. Like,
I don't
really
know if I
silent.
would say. I think when it first happened, it was a little bit more silent than we wanted to, but definitely in the weeks, especially even after that second video, I've seen a plethora of people come out
Yeah.
and support her, men and women. I've seen Yachty, 21, Bun B came out and basically denounced Tory. Like, I've seen a lot of support. Also, I don't know how I feel about the public or me about them having to publicly support, if that makes sense. Like, we don't know what Megan wants. We don't know. She even came out on that second live. She said I was gonna keep this quiet. So we don't know if like she wanted people to come out and be like that. We don't know who contacted her. So it's like people are having an outcry for public support and calling people out, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I just thought I just think that's an interesting thing to think about. It's like, in this instance, who are we in this situation? Like, we don't know Meg.
Yeah.
We don't know her team or anything like that. So it's like,
It makes me also want to like bring up the Keke Palmer and Trey Songz situation. Do you guys remember when that happened? So like,
go ahead, my bad.
for those who don't know, Keke Palmer and Trey Songz, they were at a kickback, and Trey Songz had came out with like a little song, and he was basically had a line in there where he mentioned Keke Palmer's name with like an explicit, like very sexual type of jargon around who she is. And he wanted her to be featured in that music video. But by that time that he had asked her, she's intoxicated. She's under the influence of probably weed and all that. She's in an environment where she doesn't feel comfortable. And they're talking about doing an impromptu video and her to be featured with that line. And so she's like, she doesn't want to do it. And they're like constantly pressuring her to do it. He's constantly asking her, you know, she's like, you know, maybe later and all that. But people keep asking, people from the team keep asking him, to the point she felt so traumatized to not want to do it that she literally hid in a closet. Then when he came out with the video still, without her permission, of her being featured in it with that line, she came out with a statement saying that, you know, he was pressuring me, people were pressuring me under the influence to do something I was not comfortable people shamed Keke Palmer, said she was lying, saying she was doing the most, she was extra and all of that. Then you have Trey Songz now. All of a sudden, more allegations have come out against Trey Songz. They're alleged allegations, of course, because we don't know what is confirmed or not. But they're alleged allegations, and it's just constantly like now people want to kind of like make note of it. But when an actual black woman was saying, I was in an environment where I was completely uncomfortable and I was being pressured to do something through sexual advances, alcohol, money, all that, and I just didn't want to do that, you guys shamed me for it. So that's just another example, like, not only are black women, like, subjugated to, like, not being protected in the sense of our relations with other men, but it's just, like, it's not even just the mental capacities, it's also the physical, it's also the sexual, you know, type of elements as well. Like, a lot of, like, I had conversations with friends, but a lot of black women have a lot of sexual trauma and nobody talks about it. They don't feel comfortable talking about it. More than likely, 1 out of 3 black, I think I wrote an article, 1 out of 3 black women will be subjugated to sexual abuse or have been sexually abused in some manner. Nobody talks about that. It's like this thing where black women are just constantly hypersexualized at an early age. Oh, you're fast, go put some clothes on. Oh, you're doing too much, go put some clothes on. Or who are you trying to be cute for? And it's put on us, or people really hypersexualize us where it's just like, you know, they're not deserving of being protected because they're fine, they're strong, and, you know, they're promiscuous anyway. And then we're subjected to stuff like that and we don't want to talk about it. So it's just like, black women just can't get a fucking break. And this shit's ultimately draining. And it's just like, for me as a black woman, with stuff like this, I don't go to other people for it. I go to another black woman, and that's my mother. And that's the only person I kind of find, like, actual peace from and protection in those situations. And it's unfortunate because I'm surrounded by other black men who I call friends and, you know, comrades, associates, whatever, but to feel like I can't have those conversations with them or I can't feel like I'm protected is unfortunate, you know.
You kind of touched on this, but I agree. Y'all was asking, like, what can y'all do with, like, black men or, like, in this time frame, but it's just, like, historically, like, bro, this is, like, embedded within us, like, within our culture, like, not even because of us, like, even, like, the black man being incarcerated so he's no longer in the household, and then black women have to step up, like,
stripping black families through slavery, like, all of that. Black women having to watch their women being abused, like,
literally, like, it's embedded in us, like, we cannot escape it, like, whatsoever. And it's just, like, it's, like, physically, mentally, like, it's just everywhere. Even on social media, like, say if one race, like, if a white girl was to bash a black girl, like, it just, like, keeps getting embedded in us because it's, like, black men attacking. Like, it just seems like everybody is, like, always attacking us also. And even on social media, I never see, like, black men really have our backs like that. So I can physically see, like, domestic violence situations, and then it's also, like, a mental thing. It's just, like, a never ending circle. But yeah, I think it's definitely gonna take a lot of time. I think just, like, consistent action, and y'all need to change mentalities. Not only you can change your mentality, but also talk to your brothers, talk to your uncles, like, talk to the other men in your life, like,
and call
them out on this,
like,
shit.
When you see something that's clearly sexual harassment or the conversation is clearly misogynistic, don't be chuckling and brush it off. Like, that's when moments when you need to intervene, because people get comfortable with having those mindsets and thinking those mannerisms is okay, and then they'll inflict it on people. And not only have you created a level of trauma on that one person, but that level of trauma is, like, for black people, they said DNA-wise, like, the trauma our ancestors experienced is in us, like, DNA-wise. So a woman maybe being subjected to trauma, whether sexually, mentally, or physically, unfortunately, biologically, it does something to her. And unfortunately, you know, anybody she has after that, there's a chance that trauma can be passed on. So, like, not intervening in moments like that isn't cool because you don't know the legacy of impact that you're doing or not intervening for. So that's how I feel about it. And also, my last little point, because I talk a lot. But it's like, you talked about, like, it's always been there. Like, it's been, like, we can't escape it. You have to think about in the context, it's like 400 years
Literally.
of 400 years of enslavement, 400 years of oppression, 400 years of black families being stripped apart, black men witnessing the abuse of black women. So it's going to take every day for like 400 years or more for us to really eradicate that mindset. And if you don't really think about it like that, you're not going to make sure your actions and your dialogue is reflected. So if you're constantly thinking, this is 400 years of mannerisms and dialogue that have been placed on my black woman, I need to make sure I'm starting the days and steps of 400 years of eradicating it. That's it.
What it sounds like is we've let Tory Lanez go. He's been let go. Oh, y'all, wait, let me not speak for everybody.
He's like,
Y'all still love Tory Lanez? That's your favorite?
Oh, he's like, but if he dropped a chick tape, like, I probably will listen to it.
I'm not going to sue it.
Oh.
He hasn't made a good chick tape since 411. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have a lot going for him.
Yeah.
Now think about it.
So why did you listen to the last one?
All right, what was the last one?
5.
I don't recall songs off the 5. Which one had the Penny Proud joint? The Proud Penny one. Was that 4?
That's 4.
That's the last one I listened to was 4.
I think also.
Don't go look at my tweets. 'Cause
Artists
I
are
don't
removing
remember.
him from their songs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
was it Kehlani?
Kaylani,
Kehlani
JoJo's also.
She took
removing
him off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she took him off too. Like they're released like music things that have already been made, like Jack Harlow's song and stuff like that. Like it's already been made, so there's nothing they can do about it. It's already on like the digital verse. But they're like anything
They're
where it
trying to
comes
distance.
from after,
You can't, okay.
we can distance ourselves from.
It's a lot of...
lot of
Even
technical
on
work.
Even on Kehlani's, like, he's still technically on one form of that album. Not the deluxe and not like another version, but there's one version where he's still technically there just because I'm sure there's plenty of like contract loops and
For
all
sure.
type of stuff. So
Well, sorry about you, brother.
So
You had a
and
good
Charlamagne
one.
said- and Charlamagne said-
Hey, I'm sorry.
So I got a question. So, and I feel messed up about bringing this up, but like they said, like okay, so when the Chris Brown and Rihanna stuff happened, you know, we fast forward to now, and I'm not gonna say that people have fully forgiven him, but he's kind of slid his
He's still
way.
Chris Brown. is
Right,
what it
he's
sound
still
like.
Chris Brown, and it seems like, you know, while people haven't forgotten, they've kind of just
Gave him a pass, yes, certainly.
I think
They
it
gave,
ended up
remember when
happening.
Kaylani
Yeah.
would
They had a
attempted
freak-
he
suicide?
didn't shoot her though.
They had a free R. Kelly freaking rally
Yeah.
like a couple days ago.
It definitely is.
Oh.
But I remember when Kaylani had that attempted suicide with that situation, and Chris Brown made some negative comments about it, and it's just like, even then, only black women seem to be the ones to be like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Because, like, Zendaya had a song with him, and then, like, he even mentioned recently, like, I remember we shot the video for this and we never publicized it, because you said something that was egregious to one of her friends. Like, who makes a mockery out of somebody trying to attempt to end their life? You know? And it's just like, he has a whole track record. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not disputing that these individuals are talented, but the actions that you do in life is not gonna overshadow your talent. I mean, like, your talents is not gonna overshadow the actions you do. So
I don't believe that.
Even-
I don't believe that in everybody's case.
even when I look at Chris Brown, like, yeah, that's a talented man, but I'm like, he still put his hands on a woman. He's definitely was violent, like physically and verbally violent with his mother. His commentaries with Kaylani, like, he has a number of comments, colorism comments. So like,
I mean, you get it, you understand. We may get it, but as a whole, I think people's fame can't overshadow a lot of that shit. And like, when it comes to the end, like, until people, like, sadly people die and people sit down with it, it can go either ways. It can go either we didn't appreciate you enough or we gave you fucking too much.
yeah,
And then it's like, okay, well, I don't know, cause I'm like Chris Brown and Rihanna, like, you can say this, like, it's funny, I see people that say, fuck, it's like, you can say, fuck Chris Brown, and then come back and still be like, I can't wait for this new Chris Brown tape, I'll rock this Chris Brown tape. And it's just like, alright, well, I guess you really didn't feel that badly about it. I mean, I think Tory Lanez will end up, I'm not saying he's gonna be just fucking done, like 6ix9ine's back. Like, people that come back from these things, and it's just like,
well,
the listeners aren't gonna go anywhere.
That's also different though.
It is.
I mean, that's
is it
different,
because
like, it is.
6ix9ine's audiences.
Yeah.
We know who. We know.
I honestly think if Tory drops some shit,
People gonna listen to that
People
shit.
gonna listen.
No, people gonna listen.
Oh, we cancel
Here-
Daniel Caesar.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Daniel
So,
Caesar have you fucked up. And so
here's
does
what I'm
Tory
saying.
Lanez.
Great
So,
album. Great
I'll be
album.
good.
Tory Lanez did all that work to get himself to where he at, and he went independent.
Mm-hmm.
And now he fucked himself up. So not even associated with like.
a label.
Yeah,
So it's just like
he just himself.
I feel like he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna take a much significant hit, and his audience is black people.
Yes.
It's not like 6ix9ine. I feel like.
How many white
I was
people?
a-
You,
I
how
was
many
a
white people
Wingstop,
you know
and it was
listen
like-
to?
I don't know,
Tory
it can't
Lanez?
Canada
Outside of
probably
when he's
the audience, I
featured
don't
on other people's work.
That's fair, but in America, I just know, like, for instance, like 6ix9ine's most of his crowd, like I went to Wingstop one time, and it was like
White people.
four white dudes with in like chino shorts and like really weird long hair,
I talk to my brother, 'cause he's in high school too. Like Tory Lanez is not, he's known like Tory Lanez,
No.
and like fucking what's the dude with that? He's like got dreads, he got glasses on, talk with a T, something. I can't remember. He sings.
Party next door.
No, he starts with a T. His name is Tekka or something.
Lil
Tekka, like
Lil Tecca.
Playboy, and people that we're like, they're like big for them. Like this is like, and I imagine.
I'll tell you that Playboy the best out.
Huh?
Or they'll tell you that Playboy or NBA the best out.
I ain't gonna cap, bro. I listened to Playboy. I listened to his last album and Dalit, and it was hard.
That's a great album, but you know.
And I've got more respect for
that single that he
Playboy.
was dropping was
Meh.
meh.
Damn.
Meh.
I like Mad. That's the problem.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, we ain't talking about that.
It was meh.
I'm glad we're talking about Playboy Cardi going straight from there into what we always have been known for. And can you put it like at the top? Anyways, I was gonna make a statement without knowing if you could actually do it, so I didn't want to say it out loud, so I kind of whispered it. What are we listening to right now? It's been a couple. It's been like a month or some change, or maybe more than that. Of what we've been listening to, and
Listen to a lot.
you know,
Wow.
for me,
It's
what I'm
some stuff
listening
that's
to.
dropped that's really
I
good.
got a lot. Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. All right, bet. So what I've been listening to.
he gonna say some shit that somebody gonna say. Go ahead.
It's been a lot. So one, listen. Nas dropped an album. Now listen. Nas
Was it
has had
tough?
some.
I heard it was poo-poo.
Was it tough?
Oh, no, Nas has had some rough albums. He's had some rough albums, but this one. It's like
It was hard, bro.
It's like called King's Disease. I just feel like
Is it better than the last one? Cause I like the last one a lot.
the one that was produced by
Did he say
Well,
something
like
did
about
he
Diddy
Doja
on the
Cat?
cover.
What was the Doja Cat diss?
he basically said the song's called Ultra Black, the opposite of Doja Cat.
Oh,
This is what he said. They asked him about it. He basically played it off. He was saying like it's just a song and I was just doing it for fun.
My next song.
I don't know about all that, but
that was a little diss.
granted with her allegations,
It was bad.
and I know she came out, but that's a different topic. But I think that, bro, usually his beats don't match him, and they're kind of trash, for lack of a better term. But I feel like the beat selection really matched him. It's still not bangers, but I feel like the beat choice, the production and beat choice like really matched him. I feel like I don't know who produced it, but I feel like it really matched him. You know what I'm saying?
I did
It's
this
really
song a
good.
lot.
Well, P said it was poo poo, so.
No.
Well,
I didn't say it.
Hey, you
I
heard.
heard. I heard.
But here's the thing. No disrespect between anybody, but we have very different music tastes.
That is true.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
that is very true.
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, that I tried to give the Jaden Smith album a listen.
I'll try to.
I really something about I like Jaden. I like his potential, and he has, to me, never put it together. And each album past the last one just seems like it's another step in maybe not the wrong direction.
It's not the it's like
Side, he walking to the side.
Mm.
He taking side
He's
steps. You
Wanna
know.
go next? Wanna go next?
Oh, was that all I had?
What else you listen to?
Then you try to rush him. He
That
wasn't
was
done.
another
I thought it was like going to the end, but you know.
There
I'll
was
shut
a-
up.
I can't remember. There was another one. I can't remember now. It's been a while. Come back to me.
Well, for me, I only got two things. I like Dolph's tape a lot. I think it's called Rich Slave.
Mm-hmm.
He's got my favorite song of the year on there. It's called To Be Honest.
Big Lotto.
And it's just,
Big Lotto.
I don't know, man. Every time I listen to Dolph, it's always the same, and I like it every time.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm getting, and he
That's
just
fair.
does it well. The baby needs to understand. Look, bro.
The baby
Let's
issue,
just take a
bro.
second here. Bro, you have to understand, fuck what we talking about. Of course we say you sound the same. But that original sound the same was cool. Young Dolphin sound the same forever. I say it all the time. And I like it. You switched up, and I know you just did it for the whites, you know, but it's trash, bro. It sucks. Like, this is me as a respectful person saying this.
I think the problem, bro,
It sucks.
he made too much music. It's been
Too much,
it's
bro.
been like 2 years. He's not like
Why do you
that.
keep putting albums out? Why are you singing, bro? Like,
He's
what are you
bored.
doing?
But I'm saying
Why
like
are we not shooting people? Why are we not killing niggas?
He's
Kill
saturating the
somebody.
market. He's saturating his market. You gotta
Yes,
let it
bro.
spread out a little, especially like you have the same sound. So like before Dolph's, when was his last one? Like a year or two
Yeah,
ago?
he gives time. He doesn't do
You give him-
features.
You
He
give
doesn't
time,
do
you let your
features.
crowd get a little bit more hungry. Baby's like, here.
It's like, oh,
And now we don't want it.
X. Yeah, no disrespect to you. Also, I like Flo Milli a lot.
She
hard, bro.
Listen to her.
Yeah.
That shit hard, bro. I was listening to it. I got like 2 songs out. It's alright. I got like 5 songs. I said, you know what? She hard. I like the way she talking that shit. Women rappers in general going absolutely stupid right
I
now.
was just thinking the other day, there's not a lot
They
of
going
collaboration
stupid right
with male and women rappers.
It's just like female and female.
Yeah, I've been
Or women.
noticing
Well, that Lotto and that Gucci joint was hard.
It was more.
Cause I'm a very freaky girl.
I like that
I'm
one.
getting from my
what's
mama.
a lot of-
I'm not with the
Who was on Yachty's tape?
Huh?
Tina.
Tierra Whack was on.
That
one
was
of
hard
his
on
songs.
Yachty tape. She
Also,
was
also
stupid.
Tierra, you're playing.
Yeah, you need to drop some ASAP. But that
Don't
shit,
drop another
she was
album
fucking
with
nuts.
1 minute songs. I need the full.
Yeah. if I gotta bully you, I will. So I will bully you in the good
But I did
music.
remember one more.
I'll bully people in the good music.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Who's next?
Nah, I'm not gonna take it from Brianna. I know she wants to say it.
Bree, go ahead. What was you gonna say, Bree?
You about to say what I was gonna say?
I was. Go ahead.
Bree, say it, Bree.
I know exactly what she's gonna say. Go ahead. I don't want to take it from you.
So in terms of new albums, Limbo by Ami.
That is good.
Is it?
It's
It is
good.
good.
It's not a meme, but it was.
How you say it?
Is it hard? I haven't listened to it yet.
How do you say his name?
Eminem.
Eminem? I'm calling him a meme. No, like it's.
What's it? How you say it for real?
Eminem.
Something? Pronunciation?
Eminem.
You know?
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, anyways, you could definitely see that he's matured and he's grown in his sound,
Solid,
and it sounds a little bit like
King
wavy.
Out
I really like the
Need a Baby
production
King out.
on it, so
Really like
that's
the
definitely. If y'all didn't like previous things for him, the last one, I don't know the name of it. Sorry. This one is he's definitely grown, and you can see like he's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I would definitely give it a thumbs up.
Give it a listen, bro.
Give it a listen. Also, this is a throwback, but I didn't know. I mean, I knew about him, but I didn't know his name. But Yes Lord, LAW.
Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak or
Anderson
Knowledge?
.Paak and Knowledge.
Oh wow.
That album has been hitting. Like, it's timeless. It's timeless. It's been hitting for sure. And the last one, because this year has really like mentally just been smacking the fuck out of me. But you know, it's been a lot of reflection and process by Sample.
Was that hard? Is that the tape or the song?
No, like the album.
I didn't hear. I didn't know you know that was album out. I'm saying I've never.
It's
heard
not new. It's old.
Oh, I was about to say I didn't know that.
But that's like been really like peaceful to me. So if you're kind of going through hard times, it's like really good listen.
I feel about knowledge in music.
I'll go before I forget. I've been listening to Teyana Taylor, the album. There's a couple of tracks on there I like.
Solid.
It's a couple of tracks I really, really enjoy. I have that one, Flamilly, How Are You Here, and then Mulatto, Queen of the South. I like that one. I also just heard a song today, and I really like it. I just want to give Sir Charlie Wilson his roses now.
He's been on a lot of stuff.
Bro, tell me.
Yes.
He's been.
Put him on any song, hip hop or rap song.
He was on
it's
Limbo
great.
with Jid.
Yes. I listened to a song today, and it was Gucci Pajamas with Guap Dab 4000,
Guap Dab is nice too.
Chance the Rapper, and Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson,
Goofy,
you
but he
made
cold,
this
like,
song.
It's just something about him. He can just ride on a rap song, man. It's just
Charlie
He got the
Wilson,
voice. It's relaxed. Like,
yeah,
he just
it's
has
a
it.
very relaxing, and I just feel like the hip hop community and rap community has definitely been using my man's Charlie Wilson. I mean, he's definitely getting a check from him, but they've been using him, and I feel like he's just always
been a
really
while,
been
bro.
rocking with
He
it for a
did.
while,
Charlie been doing this
and
for a
I
while.
appreciate it. Like, you put him on any hip hop or rap song, I love it. Like, he got stuff with Tyler, he has stuff with Eminem. Like, it's so many songs that he does. A lot of which I like is kind of like our alternative rappers, or the rappers who are kind of not so like Nas, Jay-Z. No, they're more so of like the Eminem, the Tyler the Creator, you know, the Jadens. Like, he really do be making music with them, which I really appreciate. And that song,
Yeah,
Gucci
he's using
Pajamas,
a couple
I
songs,
like
yeah.
that song, and it's literally just like, I feel like they're just like, okay, Charlie, we just need you to go in there and just do your stuff. And that's exactly what he did on the song.
What did you tell him?
Yeah, just go
I
in there and
need
do
you to-
you. And he was just amazing on there the whole time.
Just not.
Hey,
Like, you
I
could
need
tell
to
they
do
were
it.
having the fun in the studio when they were making it too, because like the
Right.
end of the song is kind of like them just talking and laughing. And Charlie did like a little run, and they started laughing. Like, you could tell they were just like, oh, that's it, we got it. So that's what I've been listening to. And also Chilombo Deluxe. Yeah, Chilombo Deluxe.
Did you say one of deluxe?
I like the Deluxe.
Oh.
I like a couple of
Oh.
tracks on Deluxe. I'll say that.
My
It's a couple
baby,
tracks.
daddy,
I like
daddy.
that she finally made On the Way a
You
full
nigga,
song.
I get a
It's a
boss
good
to
song.
you now.
And I finally like that she finally had a collaboration with her sister, Mila J. So that was cool.
Ooh,
Mila
yeah,
J.
you.
Mila J. You didn't know
That's her sister?
That's her
Uh-huh.
sister.
Like
That's her
blood?
big sister.
Blood.
Okay.
Blood. That's her blood big
Blood
sister.
both ways. Wow.
Blood both ways.
Oh.
Same mom, same dad, same
man.
sister.
What would you look at that?
What have I been listening to? Oh, I listened to that Cash Page. I was a fan of the Teenage Fever, I think it was called. I did listen to it off. I like the song Let It Rot, or It's Gonna Rot, or something like that, because he starts talking in Spanish. After that, I have been listening to, of course, One of Deluxe. Great tape.
Hard, tell you that one deluxe went crazy.
Yeah, I feel like deluxe albums are necessary.
No.
If it makes
It's
album
only necessary
Ooh.
when they're like a
Debatable.
whole new set of songs.
That's what I'm
when I
like.
feel
I
But
just
when
added
Baby
like
did it, it was
2
poo
songs.
poo on a stick.
It depends on the artist.
And then Gunna did it, and it was hard.
Cause like I'm be honest,
He
Janae,
had some
I love
hard-ass-
Janae. She's
Oh,
like
yeah.
one up there.
One watches on
But-
that bitch too.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just add it to the.
Literally, it was only like 2
Dirty Diana
songs
hard.
on the deluxe that I
200
was
for
like,
whatever
lunch?
lunch. 200 for lunch.
And I'm-
Hard.
Y'all listen, let me say something.
That's hard.
But it was just
Summer
a couple
Walker?
songs though, right?
yeah, Summer Walker's project.
You got like
Summer
8 songs.
Walker made her bag, of course.
Well, she had a deluxe.
She had a little tape,
A little EP.
a little EP joint.
It's a short EP.
Did everybody go already?
I was,
No, not
No, I'm gonna finish up. I really just
DJ Peace Way.
I've been listening to a bunch of old stuff, a lot of singles. Like Drake, he been dropping them singles. That the one with him and Dirt.
I ain't gonna have it been riding. It's been
now
riding.
Laughing Out
Sunny
Cry
Laugh,
Loud.
Laugh Out Loud.
It's been riding, bro.
So hard.
Baby.
I've been listening to the NBA at 30 Gay Baby 2.
You say NBA, like we gonna be like, yup.
Look,
Pretty hard, but
no.
it take me time to listen to NBA. It take me like time.
Go ahead, no, go ahead. You can address it,
I'm
but I'll
gonna
address
bounce
it.
off you. Listen, in terms of the category of rap that he's in, the level of growth that me personally I've seen is phenomenal. Because when he first came out, I couldn't listen to him, and then now he's getting on Future tape with the Trillionaire, and they riding that beat together. Or
He on that Migos song too. That's
Yeah,
hard. Him
like,
Offset.
like you can tell, bro. Like he's learned. He's
He on the
grown a
baby
lot.
shit,
Like
too.
he can ride a beat now. I really wasn't feeling him
Early.
on, bro. The only song that I messed with him early was like
The main shit.
that Gucci Man from 2006.
Mhm.
That shit hard.
I would give him that, but I never listen to it like when it first comes out. I would let it delay, then I listen.
Like I mean, I would hear songs and it's just like
Were you? Were you really?
Go ahead, bro. What you saying?
No, but I mean, I was just saying, like, just singles for real. That Future and Lil Uzi, I think they got a project that's about to drop, but I like both of their little singles that they released, that Over Your Head and that Protect. Super hard. Beats is rocking.
It's an interesting combination.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a hard project.
It makes sense.
I think Future
so.
needs to be with somebody who can really like spit. I feel like that's the best. Like Drake can really spit. That's why that duo tape was
Yeah.
lethal. Or even like the newest one that came out. Even though Future did kill it, what was it Good
You
Time
know
to Be
that tape
Alive?
he had with
What a
Thug?
Time to Be Alive, yeah.
You know that tape he had with
Thug can
Thug?
spit.
What a
That was
You
hard.
said- What you talking about?
That's what I'm saying, but they had like a similar sound though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you and
that's a top notch.
Like that trap.
Oh, I just remember something. I like Givion's music. I don't know what it is about that man's deep, the little voice.
He
What
dropped
was
a
it?
cover.
You know, you hear like it's like he talking from here to here. You know, singing from here. But
So
Giveon got
Untitled?
real good music.
It's all
He did-
it's all Adam's after.
It is all. It is all. But he also did oh, I was just about to say. He did a rendition of How Does It Feel, so it was really cool. But alrighty, I think that's it.
Wrap us up.
Cool.
Wrap us up.
Well, thanks for coming, y'all. We didn't get canceled yet. We on volume 3. You already know what it is. Follow us on Twitter. It's what is it? 2__? No, all the vibes 2 underscores. On Instagram it's 2 underscores all the vibes. The website link will be on the bottom. They say it will be on the bottom here. You can also follow us on our playlist that we have weekly, where we drop a couple songs, maybe
If you
20
don't make it
songs.
come like this.
Boom. Just what we listening to. Some new
Yeah,
stuff,
all
some
this
old
here.
stuff. Just happy to be back for season 3. Guys are rocking with us. It's gonna be bigger. It's gonna be better. You know what I'm saying. Until next time.
Shum, 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 shum.
I'm out.